One of the most painful jobs in Photoshop is removing lens flare like you see all over this image. If you had to go into each of these magenta problem areas and clone them out by hand, it would just take a ton of time, which is why in this video, we'll use the latest version of Adobe Camera Raw to almost automatically remove all of this in a few clicks. Let's start by reviewing the traditional approach here. Starting with my RAW, this is my unadjusted RAW. I open it up as a smart object in Photoshop and I just have it here for reference. And then from it, I edited it in Camera Raw to get to this result, to just bring out the color and detail in this image. But of course I have all these little lens flare issues. Some of these are just normal flare bubble because I'm pointing at the sun. Some of this is probably a water spot that the water in the foreground probably splashed in the lens a bit. Some of this is more subtle, but it's probably like sea spray or things like that. They're just problems all over this that I need to clone out. So I did this cloning set of adjustments here and got to a nice result that I'd be able to print, but it took a lot of work and we'll look at that in a minute. And I finished off the image using Lemenzia's haze option where we kind of just softened up the sky a bit. So we got to a great result, but if we look into the clone job, this is just a ton of work. I created all these additional exposures. If we just look at this one exposure where I blocked the sun to get rid of the flare bubble and I brushed it in, but like the color and the contrast are wrong. So you then have to make curves adjustments and color adjustments and use other ones you blend in and more color adjustments and then local cloning. And there's just so many steps here. So this clone job probably took me like a solid hour. If you can do anything to cut that time down by half or more, that's a huge win. And that's exactly what we want to do in this video using this hack with Adobe Camera Raw. So let's recreate the edit by deleting these and just starting over from the adjusted smart object. So here's my raw smart object. And if I double click it, we'll open up into Adobe Camera Raw 17.1, which you'll need for this edit. And when I first edited this image, I was an older version of Camera Raw and it didn't have the AI remove tools. So you might naturally go for the new generative AI remove for these kinds of flare bubbles. And that is a great solution, which we'll use, but there's an even easier thing you can do now, which is the new distraction removal for reflections. When you turn this on, the AI is looking for things that are reflecting in plate glass, which is not the case here. But nevertheless, it's a very similar problem and it's going to do a great job with problems like this and down here to clean things up. I mean, look at that result. In one click, we got rid of a bunch of spray and water drops and stuff in the corner here with just that one click. Now, is it perfect? No. I mean, the color's a little bit off, and I'm sure as this continues to progress, or especially if it gets designed for lens flare to get even better, but take the win. This is a nasty thing to fix. This is not that hard to fix. The color and detail is much closer to where you want to be, so it's going to be a lot easier to clone from this than before. So it's not a one-click solution, but with one click, it's a much easier manual job from this point forward. And now we can tackle these other little flare bubbles. So I'm going to work on the little ones first, and we can come back to the big ones so that if we have to refine this, we can. So let's just zoom in a little bit, shrink my brush, and I'm using this generative AI remove tool, and just click and drag over any problem areas like this little hexagon. Adjust your brush size with the left and right bracket keys as needed, and just target these little problem areas. I want to fix these little guys here, maybe shrink my brush here. For things like these rays, if you click and shift click, you draw a straight line. So that's handy for the rays, which I like the rays here. I just don't like them here. They're kind of distracting in this area. So clean those up. There's a little bit of a rainbow here, a little bit of a flare bubble here. There's some stuff here in the background, which is more ghosted. So lots of problems to be fixed. And I think with those just general fixes, let's go click on remove. Let the AI do its best work on all these areas. And again, it might not be perfect, but the goal is less work. So if it gets us half the way there, that's a big win. And I think that looks great. It's doing a really nice job. So most of this is kind of perfect. Here, maybe I'd take a second pass and see if I could do a little bit better. There's a little bit of a residual green. Try this one more time. If it doesn't fix this, you can use the manual approach, right? We don't have to fix everything automatically, and maybe try the variations here. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. So, that's at least social media quality level. And if I want to go even further for print, I can. And now I want to target this big flare bubble. This one is probably not going to be perfect, but it's really nasty to do a healing brush over color. And so if I can just get it close, that's going to save a lot of time. And this ought to be fine for social media right out of the gates. That's a pretty good result. Let's go look at the variations. Yeah, I think, yeah, go kind of with this third one. Does it match the full detail outside there? No. So for print, I'd have to spend more time cleaning this up, but it's going to take minutes to fix this as opposed to an hour for everything. So take the win. This has gotten us to a much better starting point, and you can use all the traditional manual approaches to bring it home from there. So we'll say, okay, I'm not going to bother to show you all the manual cloning. I just want to show you this quick job to get to this point from before to after. See how nicely that helps. I want to show the other parts that are unique to this edit though, because we did remove some of that ghosting. The flare from before, I think there's a nice warm quality here. I'd like to reintroduce that here because it is cleaning up some real glare, but I like that glare. I just don't want these little bubble spots. I just want this overall soft glare. Well, there's an easy way to create that using the Lumenzia luminosity masking panel. If you just go to Dodge, under Dodge, the solid fill will create a warm glow if you set it to soft light. So we'll just say Dodge burn with these settings. It lets us choose our color, but it's already set for kind of a warm sun color. So we'll say okay. And you see it creates that warm glow everywhere. And so that's kind of a preview of the results. What I want to do is click on the mask to make it active. And now we can brush it in. So I'm going to hit B for my brush, take my flow down to something really low, like 2%, using white paint in the foreground. Just brush over these areas where I want to add in a little bit of that glow. Just kind of gently bring out the light in the image from before to after. I'm reintroducing that flare. Just feels a little bit more natural. And then to complete the effect, I want to add some of that haze in the sky. And that's another feature in Lumenzia. If we hover over the depth button, you see that shift clicking will add a haze layer and select by depth. So I'm going to shift click on depth. It's going to automatically create a haze layer and create a selection which is biased for things in the distance. So we can paint things in the distance much more than things in the foreground. So it'll be very easy now to take a larger brush. Let's go boost our flow up to closer to like 10%. And now just brush in these areas. We want to add a little bit more of kind of a hazy glowing effect in the sky. And I think especially on this horizon line, let's kind of soften that up a little bit. Just really make the sun feel powerful. Get rid of some of those distractions in these areas. And you can see this haze from before to after just kind of cleans up that image. And if you've painted more than you want, you can go and bring the opacity down a little bit. Just dial that in the way you want. But I think that adds a really nice effect. Now, notice that it's using a luminosity selection. It's telling me there's a depth selection active. That was created for me automatically. If you want to see it, you can click on the check cell button and you see that this is the selection of depth. So it's infinity for the sky is white, the midground in gray, and the foreground here is kind of selected at different depths. So it's just helping you automatically select by depth. That's what I'd loaded up there for my brush. I wasn't painting freehand. I'm going to just get rid of that. If I alt click on the mask, you can see that it's built into the brush. So it's automatically helping target things by their distance to further enhance that haze effect. And they just built right into the depth button. But just look at what we've done in just a few minutes here. We've gone from this original raw, which I had already edited to this state to get some nice color to it. But then we removed all those distractions by just using the reflection removal and a couple of quick touch-ups, then a little dodge and burn to reintroduce some of the flare, and that final haze step to give us an overall adjustment that just really transforms the image and looks gorgeous. Now to learn more about Lumenzia, click to this next video.